All right, so we are back. We're going to continue. So in this video, we are going to work on the next visor, which is Hyper-V. So just as similar, Hyper-V is built into Windows 11 and Windows 10 Pro as well, and you can also find it on your Windows server boxes. So one easy way is to go to your control panel, and for you to activate Hyper-V, normally it's just a feature extension of your Windows. So if you're following along, control panel, go to large icons so you can expand it a little bit longer or a little bit more. And then once you are here, you're going to go to programs and features, and you will see whatever is already installed on your system. However, for Hyper-V, you need to turn Windows features on and off. And then here you will see it right here that Hyper-V is not installed. Okay. But this is where you can install it. So all of these boxes, when you start with your Hyper-V, you will check all of these to start it. If you want to do it this way, this is just be you checking all of these. Now, the next way you can do this is through PowerShell. I like to do this through PowerShell because it seems to work better, and it also turn on the Hyper-V services that are needed so you can properly install Hyper-V the way it should. So we're going to go ahead and fire up PowerShell. So from here, hit start, and you can type in power, and you'll see right here. And you're going to just right click on PowerShell and run as administrator. I'm going to click yes right here. So then there's just a simple command that we are going to use, and it's called enable Windows optional feature online featured in Microsoft Hyper-V, and then all. The all is specific because you want to make sure that everything here will be installed. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to close this out just as such. And to install it, I'm doing it in the PowerShell version. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter here and let it run. It's going to go ahead and install these additional features for us real quick. So let that go ahead and do its thing. So once it's finished, it's going to say, do you want to restore the computer or do you want to restart the computer to complete the operation? You can click yes. However, you can also double check too to see before you restart, see did it install it, and you can see yes, all of these boxes are checked as we intended before. So now you can see all of these services were installed properly, and once we restart, we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and restart this box, and we shall be right back. Okay, so all right, so once your system has been installed and restarted, we go back here, and we're going to go to control panel to verify. Excuse me. So program features, I want to just double check to make sure that just to double check that our feature was successfully installed, so we can check to see it's still installed, so that's good. And then now, how do we find Hyper-G? Hyper-G. How do we find Hyper-V? Well, Hyper-V is normally going to be like hidden under here. If for some reason, you would think that it would just show up in here, but it doesn't. So just type in HY, and you should see Hyper-V Manager. You can right click here and pin it to your start. You can also right click and pin it to your taskbar. These two places. So now Hyper-V Manager is installed, and you can go ahead and open this up. And then from here, this is where you can start building out your virtual machines, because now you have this additional feature from Microsoft that you can use to run virtual systems. Okay, so to give you a quick head start how it works, once you are here, all we need to do is go ahead and click new. Now, since this is a Microsoft product, you don't need nothing additional here for Hyper-V. You just need to have the ISOs that I showed you in the first video. to download them. But in case you forgot, let's go back to start, and we're just gonna go and go to so just go download Windows 11, and right here, like I showed you guys in the beginning from all the last videos, you're gonna just download Windows 11. So right here, it's the same process. You will go and download Windows 11. We're going to select the image. So we're going to do the Windows 11 confirm because we need the ISO for this build. So we will just go ahead and select English here and then confirm. And then once this gives us the validation that we're good to go, then we can go ahead and select this. And then at the top right now, you can see that Windows 11 is downloaded. And then the next one we're going to do, we're going to search for Windows Server. Same thing, make sure you go into the evaluation center as usual. And once you are here, normally it's the first one, English, if that's your language, and then 64-bit. And right there, it's going to go ahead and download a copy of Windows Server 2025 as well. So I'm going to pause here and let these finish, and then I will show you the next steps in a few minutes. All right, so we are almost complete with the download. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on one of them. So back into Hyper-V Manager, you want to go to New. You can right click and go to New. You can click New over here, whichever you choose. So, and you're doing a new virtual machine. All right, so you can click on that. Really simple to set up. I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. You're going to give it a name. So we can call this Windows Server 25. Right? The default location is going to be here for Hyper-V. Okay. You can change this if you choose to. If you know what you're doing, or if you want to move it, put it on this extra storage or whatever. This is more advanced stuff. But if you are okay with this setup, just go ahead and click Next here. So generation 1 and generation 2. Okay, so the difference between these is that generation 2 supports 64-bit operating system. Generation 1 will support 32-bit and 64. So if you're running images like older models that require 32-bit processor, then you could go ahead and select generation 1. But for this case, generation 2 should be fine. Click Next. We're going to use the default 496 and then dynamic memory. This means when it's checked that Windows is going to use the bare minimum that you started with was 4 gigs. But then if it needs to increase as you go along, it will just take whatever it needs from the pool and use the resources as needed. Okay, so click Next. So there's no switch that's connected. So here you just go with your default switch, which is fine. And then you want to go ahead and click Next. Now, as you can see, the size of this is going to be a lot. So you can start off with changing this to like 50 gigs if you choose to. This is a location of where Hyper-V will store the virtual hard disk on your system. So if you're ever looking for it, that's where you will go. Click Next here is fine, and then install the operating system later is one of the things you could do. You can do CD-ROM drive. You can do from bootable floppy. I don't know why they don't take this out. It's just so old. But we're going to go ahead and go to install from a bootable, and then we're going to choose the ISO. We download it and click Browse. This should be in our downloads. So here we are. We have the downloads that we had earlier. So we're just going to go ahead and select this one and click Next. Once you're here, just to confirm, and then just click Finish. Now, as you can see, for here, Windows Server 2025, the state is off. Before you start here, you can go ahead and go to the settings, and then you just want to inspect this to make sure you're good to go. So memory-wise, it's 4 gigs. processor is using 2 processors, you can push that down to 1 if you don't want to use all of it. And the default switch is fine. We can talk about switches later, but the default switch that it creates is just a switch that's converted to your system, so it allows you to communicate. So just to give you a better understanding, if you go to Virtual Switch Manager and you look at your default switch, you will see that this switch was created when Hyper-V was created in the first instance, and it's just a default switch just there. Now you can create different virtual switches in between, external, internal, or private. These are just 3 different versions, and you can read up on them because each switch does something a little differently, right? So these are virtual switches that you can create. Maybe another video I'll go over all of these, but for now you don't have to really worry about the switches. You should be fine just to do the installation and follow along. Hit cancel right there. So now we just go ahead and open up this, and you can click start. Press any key to continue, and then server now will load from here. Like I said, similar to every time you've seen this, you're just trying to get to the interface for server 2025 to load. So we'll go ahead and click next. We'll go ahead and click next here. Similar pattern. Make sure you select desktop experience, like I'm always saying, or the standard experience, but we're going to go with a desktop data center evaluation. Click next. Accept. Right here, we're just going to go ahead and click create partition, click apply. It should create 2 or 3 partitions in between. Once it's created, you select your primary, click next. And then from here, all you got to do is install, and then just pretty much wait for the installation, and we'll be right back. All right, once it is installed, you're just going to go ahead and punch in a password that we're going to use. And then voila, you are into your server. And you'll just log in as regular. Right there. And this should bring you to where we are in our labs. So you can set this up, connect to all your monitors, make sure you're good to go and all that stuff. But yeah, this is basically how you set up your Windows for Hyper-V or on Hyper-V. Okay. I hope this was useful in getting you guys started to set up your home lab. This is the Hyper-V version. As always, please like and subscribe. Let us know if you have any issues. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.